The way your interior is shaped and decorated has real psychological effects on us human beings. It can make us happy, calm, or even be the cause for heightened stress and anxiety levels. In this video, I'd like to raise awareness on how our surroundings affect us and thus our mental health, so that you, for example, can keep these things in mind while you declutter, and thus continue that process with an added perspective. There's a reason certain spaces make you feel calm, whereas others cause you anxiety and might even worsen your autistic or ADHD traits, as a well-thought-out interior can create a welcoming, comforting, and relaxing environment that lowers stress and anxiety levels. Please keep in mind that your home doesn't need to have a picture-perfect interior, mostly because we don't all have the financial means to be able to do so. For me, for example, it took years and years to be able to get all of this furniture and accessories together, and I realized that even that is way above other people's means. But you might be surprised how many things can be changed without needing money, and just by awareness alone and its effect on your decision-making while decluttering or organizing. Although smell might not be something you think about while thinking about interior design, scents have a certain effect on us, and thus I believe it to be a really important part of creating my safe and comfy haven. I personally don't do much with added scents by, for example, using scented candles or oil burners, as a lot of scents and essential oils can be extremely harmful to pets as it affects their respiratory system differently from ours. Although there do seem to be certain scents that are okay for cats and other pets, that just adds more steps than my executive dysfunctioning can handle, and thus I choose not to think about adding it for now. However, I think that preventing bad odors is just as important as adding good odors to our homes, and so I try my best to keep things clean. Do I succeed every time? No. But keeping this in mind might help with the motivation to tackle the laundry, dishes, or trash, for example, while thinking about creating a better and more calming home for me and my cats. As I have a video in mind for color psychology specifically, I won't get into too much detail in this video. But for now, I just like to make you aware on how color is actually known for having the most impact on mental health, interior design-wise. Because color can even change your mood in major ways, and with it, our well-being. Not only because of color theory, but also because of trauma, as we might associate certain colors with certain things. It's okay to just use or not use a certain color because of how it makes you feel. I guess you could explain it like it being a gut feeling. And as my previous therapist told me, that feeling is always there for a reason and you should learn to trust it, no matter what color theory might say about the awesomeness of a certain color. For example, I love pink, and I feel it has a calming and warming effect on me, which is according to color theory. Blue is calming and serene according to color psychology, yet I don't feel well in a blue interior. Apparently, I'm missing the warmth of pink, as blue is known as a cool color. And although red is loved by many, several reds have a negative effect on me, and so I consciously choose to not have reds and blues in my home and lots of pink. Adding color can be as simple as adding flowers, by the way, which tend to have their own effect on our mood aside from their color, as nature does. Besides the recurring cost of keeping fresh flowers, I also consider how a lot of flowers and plants are poisonous to animals, and so you probably won't see flowers on my videos all that often. Because again, I have to think of too many things while considering flowers, and so it messes up my brain functioning. Lighting can be used to create a certain vibe. Whereas natural light can help improve mental health, I believe that the right kind of interior lighting can too. Besides their functional use, they affect our mood as well, especially if you're sensitive to lights. I, for example, only use my overhead light when I'm looking for something and then turn it off right after. However, since light affects me so much, I would like for it to be as pretty as possible. And so I chose this pretty cable one along with a clear light bulb so that it creates pretty patterns by casting shadows on the walls and floor instead of just being bright and plain. For a calming vibe, you, for example, might rather choose some small soft lights here and there. And as candles always seem to have an instant calming effect on me, I love using candles, both for adding a soft light to the room and for creating a certain atmosphere. With that, it shows how candles too can impact our mood and mental health. Although this can differ depending on personal preferences and past experiences, and thus is something you need to let your gut tell you. remembering that there is no right or wrong. Even without touching the different fabrics in a room, they have a psychological effect on us. They can make a room look more warm and cozy, or more cold. Imagine stepping into a room and seeing all these fluffy, comfy, soft textures. How would that make you feel? And now consider stepping into a room with, for example, only plain cotton and linen. That'll probably give you a completely different feeling. Apart from the aesthetic influence textures have, there's the effect that actually touching those different textures can have on you. Some may have a really bad effect on you, whereas other types of fabrics may calm us down. If you are a highly sensitive person, or like me, are an autistic person with heightened touch senses, then that effect can be multiplied depending on how sensitive your senses are exactly. So the trick in interior design is to purposefully think about these things and make decisions based on the outcome of your go-to and steer clear from fabrics. Did you know that shapes affect our brain? If you're like me, then you might have already figured out round shapes, for example, have a different effect on you than square ones. You may not know why, but just feel that it does. And that's exactly it. You just feel it. Too many sharp corners in a room, such as with squared or rectangled furniture and accessories, somehow looks harsher and can therefore even cause anxiety. If you do want to know a bit on the why, it's basically that shapes have a certain psychological impact. Our brain processes shapes and automatically turns back certain emotions. And thus I think it's worth looking into. By using certain colors, lighting, furniture, and decorations, organization, and room layout in a small, well-thought-out way, you can make a room look more spacious. Not only does everything have its own effect on how spacious a room looks, it also has a psychological effect on us. There are a lot of studies out there that talk about how the layout of a room and its organization are a major contributor of creating a calming home. You know how you sometimes walk into a room and it just feels off? It might be a lack of cohesion. Cohesion makes rooms easier to digest for our brains. If you're oversensitive to stimuli and process all the details, such as with an autistic brain, then this might even affect you more than other people in general, as our brain is processing every single detail rather than the big picture. Instead, it would be better to make our interior look like a whole, for example, by using one color palette or using similar shapes, and by minimizing clutter. Clutter is difficult to process as there's just so much going on, and knowing the impact of all of these things and keeping, for example, the effects of texture and color in mind might make the decision easier of what to keep and what to let go, and with it increasing our ability to function inside our homes. I find it really important to keep these things in mind while decluttering, organizing, and cleaning our home, so that all of these things combined help us create a calm and serene environment that contributes to us being able to relax, heal, and recharge. As always, I really hope these words have helped you in one way or another. Please let me know if it did, which could be as simple as liking this video so that this insecure gal will know it's useful and will maybe reach more people. I hope you'll have a lovely rest of your day. Bye.